Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's show is going to be based on BPD patients with relationships. Now, I don't know if anyone knows how difficult it is to be a borderline patient and try and maintain a relationship. So I'm going to show you a little insight into what we go through trying to be in a successful and meaningful relationship with the opposite sex. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but BPD relationships are often very chaotic, intense, and full of conflict. They can especially be very romantic as well. Many people have been hurt in their romantic relationships with a person who has borderline personality disorder, but others have found a way to make the relationship work, which means obviously it's not all bad. Some people can handle a BPD patient in a relationship and others cannot. Now I'm going to show you a little insight into why some can handle but others can't. If you are considering starting a relationship with someone with BPD or are in one now, you need to educate yourself on the disorder and what to expect. If you have been diagnosed with BPD, it can be helpful to think and learn about your symptoms and how they have affected your romantic relationship. Now, anyone who has BPD can tell you that they require a lot of attention, a lot of time, a lot of love, a lot of affection. They're very time consuming because they want to feel like they're loved all the time, which means they'll text you throughout the day. They'll make sure they give you a phone call. They never just let it be and wait on you. They're usually the first to come along and let you know how they feel. And for one, they don't hold anything back about how they feel. Now, here's the difference. Romantic BPD relationships and symptoms. Now, I'm going to tell you what happens with a BPD patient when they're in a relationship. One of the core features of BPD is the presence of serious interpersonal problems. People with BPD tend to have intense, unstable relationships characterized by frequent wavering between strong clinginess and dependency and sudden withdrawal. One minute you want all the attention that you can possibly get, and the next minute you are very withdrawn and you don't want to be bothered, which is basically an up and down cycle that drives a normal person who does not have BPD a little bit crazy because they're unaware of where your feelings stand, whether they stand seriously or they stand not so seriously, or if they stand in the middle because you don't know how to balance the two. Now, in addition, many of the symptoms of BPD include suicidal gestures, impulsive behavior, and they're extremely frustrating and scary for a romantic partner and can introduce more stress into the relationship because by now they have realized that they have to worry about the fact of whether their girlfriend or boyfriend may look to wake up the next morning or may look to overdose on pills the night before because they have no full clue what exactly you're going to do because your disorder requires the fact that you're suicidal and you can do things very impulsively and you can make decisions that you would like to take back but can't at the moment. So it's very hard for a person to be in a relationship with someone who has borderline personality disorder. And I myself can own up to that because every relationship I get into, everyone seems to think that I'm moving too quickly or that I'm not moving fast enough or I'm just plain confusing. But that is not my fault, your fault, or anyone with BPD's fault. Anyone who has BPD has a long road ahead of them to make people understand. You need a person who is patient, calm, kind, considerate, and willing to understand and do the research of your disorder in order to be with you. And if they can't accept you for who you are and what you're all about, then they're not worth being with to begin with. Now I'm going to read along some more about research that has been done into romantic relationships. Research has confirmed that people with BPD tend to have a very stormy romantic relationship, characterized by a great deal of tumult and dysfunction. For example, one study demonstrated that women with BPD symptoms reported greater chronic relationship stress and more frequent conflicts. In addition, the more severe of persons BPD symptoms are, the less satisfaction their partners report. Research has also shown that BPD symptoms are associated with a greater number of romantic relationships over time and a higher incidence of unplanned pregnancies in women. Individuals with BPD also tend to have more former partners and tend to terminate more relationships in their social networks than patients without personality disorders. This suggests that romantic relationships with people with BPD are more likely to end in a breakup, which is true. Unfortunately, people with BPD, unless dated, dating the right person, you will find that your relationship will end in either turmoil or you will end in breaking up because a person can just not handle what goes on with you having BPD. And it's not your fault that you have the disorder. The problem is that certain people can just not handle the factor of you having the BPD disorder, which makes it harder to maintain a relationship with you. Now, for people who want to start a romantic relationship with someone with BPD, here are all the difficulties and the truth of how it's going to happen and what could possibly go on. And I think everyone should pay very close attention, those who have borderline personality disorder and those who don't. Starting a romantic relationship with someone with BPD, given all the difficulties that exist in BPD relationships, why would anyone start a relationship with someone with BPD? First, it is important to remember that despite these intense and disruptive symptoms, people with BPD are frequently good, kind, caring, and considerate individuals. Often, they have many positive qualities that can make them great romantic partners some of the time. In addition, many people who have been in a romantic relationship with someone with BPD talk about how fun, exciting, and passionate a BPD partner can be. Many people are drawn to a BPD partner precisely because people with BPD have intense emotions and strong desire for intimacy. So they're also explaining here that when it comes to love and intimacy issues, that BPD patients tend to have more higher value in that sense of the word because their feelings tend to be a lot stronger because they also fall a lot faster. Now that is both a good and a bad thing. It's good because it allows you to express to people how you feel about them, but it's bad because people misinterpret what your strong intimacy issues mean and sometimes take advantage. And that is something that any BPD patient, male or female, should not want unto themselves. You should never want to be used or abused. You should want to be loved and cared about for who you are. And if someone cannot do that, you do not belong with them. And then you move on to the next person. Now, BPD relationships and sex, because that seems to be an issue as well. Impulsive sexuality is one of the symptoms of BPD, and many people with BPD struggle with issues of sexuality. In addition, a large percentage of people with BPD experience childhood sexual abuse, which can make sex very complicated. Research has shown that women with BPD have more negative attitudes about sex and are more likely to feel pressured into having sex by their partner and are more ambivalent about sex than women without BPD. Unfortunately, no research has been done on sexuality in men with BPD. Now, the truth to the matter is one of the leading causes of having borderline personality disorder tends to be some form of abuse, physical, mental, sexual, any type of abuse. One of the largest ones seems to be sexual abuse, which means a female actually thinks that she just expects it. Okay? She expects to be abused and hurt, etc. And that is the wrong way of thinking. You're not here to be hurt. You're not here to be taken advantage of. And you are sure not here to be sexually assaulted. It does not work like that. That's not how we do things. That is not how a borderline patient does things. That's not how any person does things. You never allow anyone to take advantage of you. When you say no, that word carries weight. No means no. And if somebody takes it further than that word no, then there's ways to help yourself. You can yell, you can scream, you can call a cop, you can leave. But don't ever have anyone think that you're going to sit there and just take something from someone or allow them to use or abuse you, because you are no one's punching bag. Can you make a BPD relationship last? Now, this has been the leading question that I've been hearing from all of my people who watch my blog. Now, most BPD relationships go through a honeymoon period where you're so lovey-dovey and excited and, oh my God, I love him so much, he means everything to me, or vice versa in the sense of a male towards a female, okay? People with BPD will often report that at the beginning of a new romantic relationship, they put their new partner on a pedestal, and I can speak for that and vouch for it. Anybody I date, I usually put on a pedestal until I realize what they are all about, and then it's like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, this person is not what he claims to be at all. And it works the same way for a male towards a female. I'm just speaking to you in a female term because I am a female. And sometimes they feel they've found their perfect match, a soulmate who will rescue them from emotional pain. A kind of thinking called idealization. You idealize everything in your head, and you picture this whole scenario about this entire relationship, and you make it seem like you know everything that's going to go on until you actually sit there and realize and take a step back and say, wow, I'm planning this all out in my head, but I don't know how it's going to play out in reality. And that's something you have to think about, because just because it played out perfectly in your head does not mean that it's going to play out perfectly in the real world. Because visions and wishes and dreams are not reality. Now, this honeymoon period can be very exciting for a new partner. After all, it's really nice to have someone feel so strongly about you and to feel as if you're needed. Now, some people actually like to feel needed and wanted and cared about and put on a pedestal. Other people shy away and get scared and think, oh my God, what have I done? Like, this person wants me so bad, and all he does is talk about me, and all she wants to do is see me and speak to me and this and that. And people get scared and they run. And why? Because they're afraid of what word? That big C word. Everyone's afraid of commitment. But if you cannot put yourself out there to try and be in a committed relationship, you shouldn't be looking for one or looking to get into one in the first place, nor should you be messing around with someone who has borderline personality disorder, because when they get hurt, they hurt deep because their emotions are on their sleeves and they wear them, they carry them around like luggage, and it hurts so badly they don't know what to do. Then there's problems that start to arise, however, when reality sets in. When a person with BPD realizes that their new partner is not faultless, that image of the perfect idealized soulmate can come crashing down, because people with BPD struggle with thinking or seeing things only in black and white, and they can have trouble recognizing the fact that most people make mistakes even when they mean well. As a result, they may quickly go from idealizing to de-evaluation or thinking that their partner is horrible. The key to maintaining a relationship, a good relationship with a BPD person, is to find ways to cope with these cycles and to encourage your BPD partner to get professional help to reduce the cycles. Some partners in a BPD relationship are helped by couples therapy. Others can't handle it and they have to break up. So in my eyes, if you're a BPD patient and you want a relationship, you're going to fight and you're going to work hard. And whatever happens, happens. And you take it from there. That's the best way to go. And that's the only way to go. Thank you.